No one else is leading you. You are the leader of your own life. If you are a mother, you are the leader of your family, guiding your children. Leaders don't own, we guide. We support, we encourage, we hold a vision. Wherever you are, it is important as leaders from the ground level for us to start standing up in our power again and reclaiming your truth. It has never been more important. Hello and welcome to the Business of Happiness podcast. Hello, my friends. It's Dr. Tarryn MacCarthy, and today is going to be a phenomenal day, a phenomenal episode of bringing you back to you. In the next few episodes over this month, so really the next 4 or so episodes, what we're going to be diving into is taking a look at the programming that has kept you separate from yourself, from your truth, from connecting to that inner wisdom and to feeling like yourself. You know, it's so interesting. It's hard to put into words, but I've been noticing this from all the women, doctors and dentists that I've been speaking to recently who have come to me for support and guidance and coaching and interested in my programs. I keep getting the same request, the same struggle of, I can't put it into words, but I just don't feel like myself. And, you know, I remember this as well. When you're creating podcasts and programs for people, there are many coaches out there, business coaches, right, that help you identify what it is you do, especially when it's not something as clear as dentistry or medicine. You know, at least if you're in a specialty, you can say, I'm an endocrinologist, I'm an osteopath, I do this, I'm a dentist, I do this, this is the service I offer. So when you're in this line of work, as I have transitioned to over the past real decade, we don't get taught this in medical and dental school, how to create a business for yourself. So there's some guidance that I've had from business coaches over the past few years. And they've all said to me, can you identify from you, me, Tarryn, from that moment in time of when you had this realization that something needed to shift when you were a dentist, when you were a practice owner, that moment in time, can you tell that story? And I've told the story so many times, and it shifts, not the details, not the truth of the story, but my feelings about it. And here's why. Because it is hard to put your finger on. And that's what I'm talking about over these next few episodes. This strange feeling when you get to a certain point in your career, a certain level of success, a certain level of achievement, where at least my experience was, I looked in the mirror and I didn't recognize myself. And it seems so anticlimactic, that moment, but that moment was like a heart-wrenching existential crisis. I had been working on myself my whole life. I had been going towards a goal of being an orthodontist, owning a practice, having a family, having a house, having a certain income, treating patients. I had been putting one foot in front of the other for so long with a directional compass, with a goal, with a pattern to follow, rules to follow. I had a certain vision of my health and fitness level, and I'd been training for, I think at that point I was training for a triathlon. And so I had all these ideas of where I wanted to go, and I had achieved them, and I didn't even recognize the woman in the mirror. I was so separate from myself. I had lost all sense of connection to my inner compass, my inner wisdom, my soul, my spirit, my purpose. It was completely gone. And that woman I looked at in the mirror wasn't me. And that's the only way I can put it into words. And this is a very similar pattern that I've been hearing from women over the past few months. This kind of, I can't put my finger on it, but I don't know the direction I'm going in. It isn't this, right? I feel like I can't trust my decisions. That's another line I hear from people. I don't have clarity on the next step. I know this isn't it. I know this doesn't feel good. Whatever I've created for myself here, yes, there are all those parts that tell me, you've built this, You've made your bed, now you have to lie in it, right? You've gone to school, you've spent hundreds and thousands, if not $1 million or $2 million, maybe more, on getting here. So girl, you better just work where you are, be happy where you are. You've committed to this marriage, you've committed to this role as a mother, right? There feels so much responsibility in what we do. And yet there's this feeling of something's missing. I'm disconnected. You know, and I've had some women say to me, I feel like it's my spiritual self. I feel like I'm disconnected from God or disconnected from spirit. I'm disconnected from purpose, deeper purpose. What am I doing here? Everything now is beginning to feel very surface level. We feel that even in our relationships, right? Where you realize, oh my gosh, all my relationships are feeling empty, are feeling very surface level. Conversations feel unfulfilling. My job feels unfulfilling. This word, I'm not satisfied, I'm not fulfilled. And yes, there are all these other components of self-shaming that build on that, right? Like, here I am, I have everything I could have asked for, sometimes more than anyone else in my family or from the community I came from. And yet I still feel unhappy, unsettled, uneased. Something's missing. And so in these next few episodes, what I really would like to call out is some of the programming that has kept us from that place of clarity. So, of course, this is the work that I do, is I help women in medicine and dentistry get back in touch with their truth individually, right? That's the bigger picture. But here on the podcast, I'm going to guide you through some new clarity, because I really feel, and just nod along if you agree with me, but maybe you've been feeling this too. There's this moment in your life, definitely in my life, definitely in the women I'm speaking to on a daily basis. And I feel like it's a collective moment, whether you believe in astrology or, I don't know, the energy of the planet right now, it really doesn't matter. I'm just asking you to tap into what we're all waking up to right now, is this collective feeling of uncomfortability in where we are, where we're waking up and going, wait a minute, I voted for these people and now I'm not sure this is what I wanted. I created this business and now I'm not sure this is the business I want. I said yes and paid and committed myself financially to this career, and now I'm beginning to question everything. This was my religion that I grew up with, and now I'm going, wait a minute, is this what I really believe? Kind of those old programs are being questioned. Even medicine and dentistry itself is being questioned. This business model is being questioned. Is this really sustainable? What I bought into, this plan, this insurance reimbursement plan, is now I'm beginning to question the way I lead my team. We're in this weird moment in time where we're beginning to question things. And what's really exciting, I just want to hold a moment for this. I get excited in these moments. Don't get me wrong. I get the fear. I get the unease, the uneasiness of this moment. I get the, wait a minute, am I standing on a house of cards that I've built? I get it. That feels uncomfortable. I get it. And in this podcast, I want you to just feel held. I want to open up a possibility of excitement for this moment in time, when we're beginning to question the government, question medicine and dentistry, maybe you're questioning your relationships, maybe you're questioning your purpose in this world, maybe you're questioning your decisions that you've made. Let this be a moment of excitement. Yes, I get the fear. Of course, you are valid for feeling afraid. And can we shift, just for the purpose of this podcast, every time you listen to me, can we hold space for a little bit of excitement? Because the moment we question is the moment we start to choose a new path. And what I want you to remember is you are always in choice and you are always safe. And that is where we're going over the next 4 weeks. we're going to start looking at the programming that we have accepted, that we have taken on as women leaders in medicine and dentistry. We're going to start looking at that programming and beginning to dissect it and see how the programming has been keeping us from that inner clarity, inner guidance, the truth that is yours and no one else's, what is right for you. What has been keeping you separate from that? And let me tell you this, just to hold a little bit of safety right now, it doesn't mean you have to burn it all down to the ground. It doesn't. It doesn't mean that everything that you've worked up to until now has been for naught. In fact, it's the opposite. Every choice you have made, every turn you have taken, everything you've said yes to and said no to, every experience you've lived up until this point has brought you here, has brought you to this moment of greater understanding of you now. Because what you're realizing in your life is what's true for you is not necessarily true for everyone else. When you followed someone else's idea of success, someone else's idea of what they think you should do, when you've lived your life based on the expectations of others, your parents, your professors, your guides, your mentors, your sister, your husband, your wife, your kids, when other people's, your patients, when other people's expectations of you have taken precedence over yours, you've realized, oh, wait a minute, this is not the way. And yet each time, even if you've listened to them, it's been informing you of the truth. It's like standing in front of a buffet table and maybe you tasted something. You're like, oh, okay, you're suggesting, Mom, that I would like the flavor of that thing. Let me taste it. And even if you've tasted it, now you're realizing, I don't like it so much. Or maybe you liked it for 10 years or 20 years or 40 years. Let it be okay that now you realize, oh, wait a minute, I don't like this choice. I get to put it back. And let it just be that simple. I'm going to choose something new. And what we're looking at over these next 4 weeks is the programming that has kept you from choosing new, from paying attention to that awareness in yourself of what's true for you, and that's kept you from choosing something new, from saying yes to you. All the reasons why you've held so much fear around asking for what you need. Or maybe you told yourself, I don't even know what I need. I don't even know what I want. Ooh, that's such a common thing that I hear from women in medicine and dentistry is, I don't even know what I want. So the first question not the first, but as I start meeting with someone new and I uncover, okay, what are you struggling with right now? Whether it's too much stress or it's my body is starting to break down, right? Like I'm noticing I'm getting sick. I'm noticing that I've been living in chronic fight or flight for decades. And I'm noticing I'm in my 30s or 40s and I'm beginning to get headaches all the time, or I've got this constant backache, or I'm developing an autoimmune disorder. This evidence of chronic adrenaline and cortisol and stress that's now beginning to interrupt my feeling of well-being in my body, right? That is a very common reason women start coming and speaking to me, or sometimes they're just realizing this isn't sustainable. The life I've created for myself isn't sustainable. Or they're realizing I am unable to ask for what I need from my team. I've read all the communication books. I've gone to all the courses and how to communicate and be, leaders eat last. I've read all the books, and yet I'm still struggling with my team. I'm still struggling to feel supported, to feel valued, to be appreciated, to feel respected, so that we can actually do the work we need to do. I know I can't do it all by myself, but man, I really hate walking into the office every day and feeling judged or like I need to compensate or help someone with their work, when really, as the doctor, I need the support around me in order to serve my patients to the best of my ability. And I'm noticing it's me, my insecurities, my people-pleasing behavior. So I get many women who come to me and ask me about this, or they tell me, I just spoke to an incredible woman doctor last week who said, I got work down, Tarryn. I am very good in a leadership position. I can delegate like no get out. Everything feels in control. I keep blowing my numbers away every year, outdoing myself over and over again. It's when I go home, my life is a wreck. I can't slow down. I feel anxious all the time. And as I'm speaking to women about their unique struggles and what they're really having trouble with at this season in their life, once we've uncovered what that is, what the obstacles are, or what they've done, they've tried that hasn't worked, or tried that maybe has worked, the fears that they have around changing or shifting, I then always ask this question: what do you want? What is the dream? What is the dream come true? And if I told you, probably 9 out of 10 women say to me, I don't know. Or they start telling me what they don't want. I don't want to feel this way. I don't want to experience this. I don't want to have this feeling at the end of the day. I don't want to be thinking about work at the end of the day. I don't want to wake up in the middle of the night. And I say, whoa. What do you want? And over the next 4 weeks, we're going to be looking at the programming that keeps us from knowing what we want. Not just not asking for it, not just not thinking we're worthy of it, but even from knowing, even from having that clarity. And isn't it so interesting that there was a time in your life when you did know? There was a time in your life when you had this spark of excitement and passion and a dream, when you were like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I know I want to be an orthodontist. Or, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I know I have this purpose in my life. I want to give back to children. I spoke to a veterinarian a couple months ago. I know I want to take care of puppies. This is my life's work. I want to heal puppies. And so there's this moment in time when we knew ourselves, when we had clarity over what it is that was true for you. Not what someone else thought you'd be good at, not what your grades told you would be good at, not what your scores or your teachers or your parents or society thought that you should do, but what was true for you. There was a moment in your life, and I invite you to start tapping into that. First of all, is that true for you? Was there a moment in your life where you knew, or you had a suspicion, or you had an excitement, and maybe that passion was overridden? Maybe that passion, that knowing, was shut down, was told she was too loud, she was too ambitious, she was too fantastical, right? Her dreams were too crazy, too out there. She'd never make a living that way. Maybe she was told she was unrealistic or irresponsible or not good enough, not capable. Maybe she was told that that wasn't possible for her. And maybe you started believing it. And over the next few episodes, we're going to start uncovering the programming that made that inner voice shrink and get quieter and quieter and quieter, specifically as it is for you as a woman in medicine and dentistry, whether you're a physical therapist or a veterinarian. And I invite you to share these episodes with your friends. I invite you to, if this is sounding true and you know that you've had this conversation with another girlfriend, let's start growing this awareness so that I can support you and you can support yourselves. I mean, I am not the guru here. I am not the all-knowing. I am just asking the questions, and I am just opening little windows for new perspective. That's it. This is not me telling you the truth, the all-knower. No, not at all. This is for you. This is guidance on how you can tap into the truth for yourself and how you can start waking up. That's what this is. The discomfort that you're experiencing is a waking up. It is after so many years and decades, maybe generations. Maybe you've noticed this in your mother and in your grandmother. Maybe it's been generations of, I'm going to use a big word, oppression, suppression. And this is where we get to start waking up. Guys, things are coming to light. We're becoming aware of things that we didn't know. The Epstein files was a big one for us this year. That was a monumental shift of an awakening of, oh my God, I didn't realize that was happening. I didn't know. And the corruption that we're being exposed to on a global level is another one of those awakening moments. Does it feel uncomfortable? Oh, hell yes, it does. It feels awful. It feels so awful. It feels so scary. And that is what we're experiencing in our personal and professional lives as well. This awakening of, wait a minute, where is my truth? Who am I really? What am I really meant to do here? What is the point? And this is exactly the moment I want to give you a little bit of excitement. Can we just shift for a moment, hold a little kernel of optimism, hope. I am hopeful that right now in this moment where everything feels uncertain in my personal life, in my work life, in the government, in society, can I hold a little kernel of hope that there is an awakening here, there is an unfolding, there is a moment where all those programs are being shattered so that we can reveal the truth underneath. So it is at a grand scale, but so it is for you. And here at the Business of Happiness, my interest is you, for you, what is true for you. And can this be a moment in time? Maybe it's 2026 when you come home to you, a reclamation of self. And what it's going to take is exposing all the programming that you have knowingly or unknowingly bought into, so that we can reveal the truth of what is true for you underneath. And I am so excited to be bringing this to you. So for this week, before our next episode, I'm just introducing this concept and giving you a little bit of hope. So maybe as you're feeling like things are falling apart, wherever that is in your life, whether it is in your intimate relationship, whether it is in your partnership at work, whether it's in the way you see yourself as a leader, or you see your business, if you're a business owner, or you see your career path, or you see your relationships with your friends, or in the way that you're treating patients, right? In the actual work that you're doing, in the healing work that you're doing, wherever there's a piece of you that's feeling unstable and fearful, like things are falling apart, I just want to honor her. She's waking up. She's becoming aware of what is no longer tolerable. This waking up, this discomfort is when we get to say to ourselves, I have been blind or deaf to or numb to this for a long time, but now the discomfort is getting to the point where I realize I am no longer available for XYZ. I am no longer available for feeling this way. I'm no longer willing to look at myself in the mirror and not recognize myself because I've stepped so far aside from my values, from what's my truth, that I don't even know the woman in the mirror anymore. Let this be a moment of hope and excitement and trust that there is no urgency. You are exactly where you need to be. Oh, hold on a minute. Because I know that whatever you're feeling right now, there feels an urgency, and we're going to be talking about that programming as well. Allow the awareness to be your superpower. The awareness is everything. You are waking up. That is big. And everything that you have lived in your lifetime up until this point, maybe even previous lifetimes, for those of you who believe in that, maybe every lifetime up until this point has brought you to this moment. Maybe all the lives of your mother and your grandmother and all the women who came before you has their experiences, their lives, their truths, their cover up, what's covered up their truth has led you to this moment in time. So let this be an exciting moment for you. And over the next few weeks, we're going to start uncovering the programming that has kept you from knowing yourself, from loving yourself, from trusting your truth. And so I'm really excited for this journey, guys. I am so excited. I feel so in my purpose of bringing this to you finally, of sharing this with you. And so I'm just asking of you, if this is ringing true and you've had a conversation with a girlfriend, maybe you're a co-resident from many years ago, maybe it's your sister who's not even in medicine and dentistry, and you're like, oh my gosh, we were just talking about this. Share this episode. Share this kernel of hope, because this is where we take back our power personally. This is where we as women leaders, and I'm speaking to you whether you own a practice or you are in charge of a team or not, you are a leader of your own life, number one, and I need you to really come to terms with that. No one else is leading you. You are the leader of your own life, so you are a leader. If you are a mother, you are the leader of your family, guiding your children. Leaders don't own, we guide, we support, we encourage, we hold a vision. That's important as a leader. Whether you're the leader of your team, doesn't matter if you own the practice or not. If you are a healthcare provider, you are not doing this alone. You have a team. You are a leader of your patient's journey, their healing. Doesn't matter what form of medicine or dentistry you do. You are guiding. You don't own. You're not the savior, but you are the leader. So wherever you are, it is important as leaders from the ground level for us to start standing up in our power again and reclaiming your truth. It has never been more important. So support one another. This is what we do best as women. It really is. We lift each other up. Isn't that so true? As women, we are so good at supporting one another and using each other's strength and lifting each other up. And maybe you've experienced a wounded relationship with other women where you felt suppressed and pushed down, that old masculine paradigm of leadership. Maybe you felt stepped on in order for someone to get somewhere up. Let's forgive her. Let's just offer her love, and let's return to what we do really well as women, which is working together as a team and supporting and encouraging each other. That's why we do so well in medicine as a team, because we know we don't have to carry it all alone. How beautiful is that? You do not have to carry it all alone. And my love, if you are brought to tears by those words, let the meaning seep into you in any way you need to receive today. You do not need to carry this all alone. And so over the next few weeks, I'm going to hold you and support you as we uncover the programming that has kept you feeling like you need to. You are held, and hold for yourself just a moment of hope and excitement that this ending for you, this awakening, is the birth of something brand new. Something so much more true to who you are, so much more fulfilling, so much more satisfying, and so much more in alignment with your truth. Because when you feel good, that is when you can really do good. I'll see you next time. Thank you for listening to the Business of Happiness podcast. If this episode brought you new perspective and value, I invite you to subscribe so that you catch all upcoming episodes and leave us a review. And if you know of a friend or colleague who could benefit from this perspective, share this episode with them and empower their day. For more information about the Business of Happiness and the Radical Happiness for Practitioners course, find me on www.thebizofhappiness.com. See you there.